Hey, it's Paul from howtoplaybassdotcom. Today's lesson is the first of a two-parter looking at Can't Get Enough by Bad Company. Great shuffle eighth note rock kind of a bass line from the early 70s. This is taught by guest teacher Gordon Clayton, and before I hand over to Gordon, if you're not already a subscriber to my free monthly easing, click the link that's underneath the video, head over to my website and subscribe. As a thank you for subscribing, you get a series of song tutorials in video and PDF format over the next few days, plus there's a monthly song tutorial, again video and PDF format. All that material is exclusive to subscribers. All it takes is your email address, so click that link, go and do that, then come back here and we'll join Gordon for Can't Get Enough of Your Love by Bad Company.
This is a video tutorial for how to play the bass to the Bad Company tune Can't Get Enough of Your Love. It's going to be split into two parts. The first part will be in First Bass and Beyond issue 210. So I'm going to jump straight into the intro. We play a C at fret 3 on the A string, and I'm going to take this with my little finger because we're just going to be playing around frets 1 and 3, and sometimes one finger per fret in this area can be a bit of a stretch, so I'm just going to use my little finger to play the C with all the other fingers sort of alongside it, holding it down there. So I'm just going to play that C note, and that lasts for a bar and a half. So you're playing for 6 beats in total, so you just count to 4 and then count to 2 if you count. You'll hear this on the tune. It's nicely syncopated and you can hear where all the hits are, but I'll just go through it so you play. It's held for a long time, and then on beat 3 of that second bar we play a B flat at fret 1, and we play 2 eighth notes on that, so that I'll play up to there. And then that's followed by a little rest, and then we play an F at fret 3 on the D string, and that ties into the next bar, which I'm going to play now. I'm going to play the C, the B flat and the F, and I'll hold the F up to when it stops, so it's for 3 beats. Okay, so this is almost the first 3 bars. And then you play a B flat on the end of that one, leading into the next bar. So I'm going to play the first 3 bars in their entirety. He's only playing 3 notes here, but it's just getting the rhythms that are a bit more awkward than straight 8th rhythms. So once you hear them along with the track, you'll be absolutely fine. So I'm going to play the first 3 bars and then stop. Play that note again, nice and clean. So that last note's on the and of beat 4. There's a lot of tying over the bars here. So when you hear it in its entirety, it'll make a lot more sense. And then go back to the F on the and of beat 1. So I'll play it so that bar would just be 1 and 2, 3, 4, and then he hits an A to go back. That's your last bar on its own, but I'll play it in with all the other stuff as well. So I'm going to play the first 4 bars through nice and slowly now. So here's the C. And hopefully you could hear my foot tapping along to that as well. I'll just do it one more time so everyone's fine with it, because the second bar is very similar. All it does is go to a low F instead of this F here. Plays an F at fret 1 in the last bar, but I'll go through it now. I'm going to play the first 4 bars again and stop. You'd immediately go back to the C here and play exactly the same for the first 3 bars as you've just played. So I'll do that. There's the C. instead of going to fret 3 here, which is an F on your D string, on the hand of beat 1 in the 4th bar, in this group of 4 bars, you go to the F here. So just getting a nice low F in as a change to playing the high one. So I'll play the last 4 bars as they are. It's exactly the same. He even puts the A on the end as it does on the other one, but it's just this one note that's different. So I shall play those 4 bars now. When you play this C at the beginning of the tune, make sure you give it plenty of purchase, because it's got a hold for 6 beats. So it needs to, if you just play it a bit too gently or you're a bit apologetic about it, it won't come through. So make sure you play it nice and strong. And at that point it goes into the first verse, which we'll do in a second, but I'm just going to play through all 8 bars nice and slowly. So I'll just start on this C here. This is the 8 bars, exactly as they happen, of the intro. So hopefully that's fine, you're all fine with the intro, and we'll move on to the verse, the first verse next. This is the first verse to Can't Get Enough of Your Love by Bad Company. There's some nice stuff going on here. There's a 2-bar phrase that's repeated 4 times. So the first 8 bars is just a 2-bar phrase repeated 4 times, which I'm going to go straight into now. You've come out of the back end of the verse where you just hit the open A at the end, and that will come on to the C here. So so I'll play the actual last 2 bars of the intro coming into the verse. Just sort of, this is tied over as well. So that's the first note of the chorus. Of the verse coming out of the intro, and it lines in with "I take." If you think of the words he says, that's as he says the word "take," you're landing on this C. So I'll just go through these 2 bars. There's on the top of the page you'll see a little bit of some musical dots at the top, 2/8 notes, and then an equal sign, and 2 other notes with the 3 above them. That means it's played swung style. And I'll just explain that because it may help one or two people. You'd probably get it just from listening to the track anyway. If you know the original track, you probably naturally just fall in that way. But if the 8th notes are played just straight without that information being given to us, say on bars 9 and 10 where it's just a G, that would be. Whereas because it's swung, it's more of a. So your first note's longer and your second note's shorter, and that'll give you the feel for how Bad Company approach this tune. If you think of the 8th notes, it's sort of like a more your obvious like punky approach, like bands like Green Day and Blink-182 and the Kings of Leon. On Use Somebody, that's all driven 8ths. Whereas the swung stuff's probably more like a Stevie Ray Vaughan sort of approach. Tommy Shannon would play on the Stevie Ray Vaughan stuff, most of it anyway. So I'll just go through this verse. You start on a C, it goes back to the C, so that lasts for 1 beat. Then you have a half note rest. You play an A, an open A, and then play 2/8 notes on beat 3 on the B flat at fret 1, which I'll go through now. There's the C. Open A, and then 2 notes at B flat. That's your first bit, and then we're playing F on the hand because it's pushing it. F's the next chord, but he plays it on the hand of beat 4 rather than on the first beat of the next bar. So I'll play that bar in its entirety. So you can hear it's 1, 2 and 3 and 4 and, so that F's on the and. I'll do that again. 1, 2 and 3 and 4 and. And then the next bar's good because you have a rest on beat 1 and it plays the F again. So you've got, and then just a chromatic walk back up from an open A, fret 1 and fret 2, which I'll play for you now, not in time. The notes that you're going to play in bar 2. That's it, so you're playing an F at fret 3 on your D string, followed by an open A, fret 1, a B flat, and fret 2, a B natural, leading to the C, because that's the phrase that you're going to repeat 4 times that you've already played the first bar of. So I'll play this again. The second bar in time now would be 1 and 2, 3, 4. So you're leaving beat 1. 1 and that F's on the and of beat 1. 1 and 2, 3, 4, and then we're back to where we were. So I'm going to play the phrase through a couple of times without counting it, so you can just get a feel for it. Then I'll do it and I'll count it out loud over the top of it while I'm playing it. Play that a bit slower. Sometimes when I'm playing these things as well, I will sometimes hit the note when it's a rest. It sounds really sort of obvious here and stands out, but when you've got a drum kit and the full band there, that sort of can sometimes help you just keep the motion of things. I do, especially in sort of funk stuff as well. It's good to keep that motion going. But here I'm just going to try and leave the rest so you can hear them. So I'll do it and count it now, the 2 bars. So it's 1, 2 and 3 and 4 and 1 and 2, 3, 4, 1, 2 and 3 and 4 and 1 and 2, 3, 4, and then you're back to this again. And that happens 4 times. So I'll play it 4 times now without counting over the top of it. And this is your first 8 bars. It's only 12 bars in the verse and pre-chorus, so we've only got 4 bars to go after this to complete this section. I'll play it through 4 times. That's 4 times through. At this point we move to a G, just a low G here at fret 3 on your E string, and we play it for 2 bars, just constant 8ths, but now it's the swung 8th, so it's so that's all that's happening there. I would take that ordinarily with my 3rd finger as well as I've come up, because I'll be there anyway off the last walk down. So I'll just show you that last bar leading into it. This is the last F. Then a bar of B flat at fret 1 follows that, fret 1 on your A string. And then we've got a bar where there's just less notes going on. You play an F on beat 1, and C on the and of beat 2. And then we play 2 E flats, which is fret 1 on your D string is the E flat, and this is, they're both quarter notes, but the first one's played staccato, which means you just play it slightly detached and slightly less than its written value. And the second one, it's full value. So that last bar is, and I'll play you the last 4 bars now as we've come out of there, and I'll play this going into it. So there's the G, B flat, and there's the last 2 bars. Let's play the last 2 again. to finish the verse off, all 12 bars. So here we go, nice and slow. And that leads us into the chorus. That's all of the first verse and first pre-chorus. We're going to go to the chorus next. This is the chorus to Can't Get Enough of Your Love by Bad Company, the first chorus. Again, it's pretty much walking between C and F, and it's the same 2 bars with some slight variations. The first time you just play a quarter note on beat 1, then you leave an 8th note rest and then play an 8th note again on the C. So it's like 1, 2, and then on beats 3 and 4, you play 2 more C notes at fret 3, and an E flat, and an E natural on frets 1 and 2 on your D string, because you're going to lead into the F note. So I'll play that for you in time. That's the first bar of C. All the others are very similar, but it doesn't leave a rest. It tends to play constant 8th notes. So you've got 1, 2, and 3, and 4, and then a full first 2 beats on the F. So he just plays 1 and 2, and then he hits that F one more time at the beginning of beat 3, and we do the same walk up, but instead of in quarter notes like it was on the verse, we're going to be playing in 8th notes on the chorus to lead back to the C. 3 and 4, and so you play the the F at fret 3 on your D string, because we're leading back to the C. And then open A, fret 1's a B flat, and fret 2 is a B natural, leading us back to the C. So the full bar of the F is, so those 2 bars put together, the first one on C with a little rest on beat 2, and then the full bar of 8s off the F is as follows. This is the first 2 bars. And sometimes I take that with my 3rd, sometimes I put my little finger underneath for this one, it just depends. It only happens the once, that bar. So that's the first time. The second time is exactly the same, except for the fact that you just play constant 8s on this first 2 beats. So it's just the C we've changed from the first time we played the C leading into the F. We play 1, 2, and 3, and 4, and then we hit the F. And in bar 3, we play 1, and 2, and 3, and 4, and to approach the F. So it's just a very, very slight variation. The tune's got a lot of slight variations with them. A lot of the really great players just sort of do that kind of thing just to keep the line interesting. So I'll play those 4 bars nice and slow. Remember, the main notes we've got here is it's C and the F. So the C's at fret 3 on our A string, and the F is at fret 3 on the D string. What we're effectively doing is just walking between those 2 notes. So I'll do it nice and slow. And that's your first 4 bars. The next 2 bars are also C to F, and the C plays exactly what it did the second time there. So we play that again, just constant 8s. At this point I change, instead of taking the F with either my 3rd or my little 1, so these are the last 2 notes we play, 1 and 2 and 3 and 4, and I shift to 1 because we're going to play a little triplet figure walking up to the G, and it's better to change it there because then I can use fingers 1, 2 and 3 to get this down. I'll show you what I mean and I'll play it slowly. So here's the bar leading in, from C to F. And because I'm playing that figure at the end, every other time I've been going back here and using an open string to cross, so it's been fine with either my third or my little one, but because I'm wanting to go up to fret 5, the G, I just switched at that point, because otherwise, if I took that without, it'd mean taking the triplets with one finger, which would seem a little bit strange, or just awkward. So there's the shift, and I shall play that bar on its own for you now. This is on beat 4, the little shifts are going, that's 4 and 4, and then there's the shift. So that's just stopping on the G, that's the beginning of the next bar, but I'll just play this bar in its entirety. The first 3 beats are all the 8th notes, 1 and 2 and 3 and then you've got a triplet, which is just putting 3 notes equally where you would put the 2. Da da da. So instead of 1 and, it's 1 and. So it will be 1, and that's going to lead to the G, which I'll play next. And this bar I'll now play for you, the G in that bar lasts for a beat and a half. And you play 1 and 2 and you're hitting that on the and of beat 2, the first C. 1 and 2 and then you rest on beat 3 and play on the and of 3 again. 1 and 2 and 3 and 4. So you're resting on the and of beat 2 and beat 4. Sorry, on the and of beat 3 and then beat 4. 1 and 2 and 3 and 4. I'll just play that again to make it clear to everyone. It's beat 3 that we rest on. 1 and 2 and 3. There's the rest. 1 and 2 and 3 and 4. So leading into that, I'll play the bar with a triplet as well, because we've got a nice little grace note flurry at the end of this one, the final bar of the chorus. So. And I'll do that again this time and count it. 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and a 1 and 2 and 3 and 4. And then you can hear it on the track, they just rush it, so it does with the drums, I think, if I remember rightly. Just these 2 grace notes. You can see that on your transcription notes, that bar has 2 very small notes with 2 just grace notes. They're littler than the ants, just because it'll add up to the right amount in the bar without them in there. But it means that you play them rapidly on, so you're just going 3, 4, and then we finish on this C bit, and then we're going to hit it rapidly again, because we repeat just 4 bars of what happens in the intro. We play the same as the intro coming out of after we come out of the chorus, but we'll do that as part of the next verse. So I'm just going to play the last 4 bars of the chorus, and then I'm going to play all 8 bars together. So I'm going to do 4 bars nice and gently through, softly through. Just listen to the track as well to make sure you get the timing on this little grace note thing. But that's it, that's the last 4 bars. Now I'm going to play all 8 bars a little bit slower. And that's the chorus. Next we'll show you the second verse and second pre-chorus. This is the second verse and the second pre-chorus to the Bad Company tune, Can't Get Enough of Your Love. It starts with the last 4 bars of the intro, so I'm just going to play those for you just to refresh your memory. I'll play it nice and slowly without talking over the top of it because you've already seen this, but this is just coming out of the chorus into it. So the chorus last bar is... And at that point we're going to go into the rest of the second bar. So that's just like a link between the chorus and the second verse. They just put the intro back in there, those 4 bars. So that was the last bar of the chorus, the 4 bars of the intro being reintroduced, and now we're going around the second verse and second pre-chorus, and this just has a couple of little variations. The last 4 bars where we play the G, the B flat in consonant 8s, and then the little rhythmic bit are exactly the same as the first verse. It's just the 8 bars beforehand that are very slightly different, but it's worth going through the different things that are happening in there because it just might give you some ideas for your own tunes if you're playing in bands and things like that. Just hear slight variations here and there is always a good thing. Keeps things interesting. So we play the first 2 bars are exactly the same as the first 2 bars of the first verse. So I'll just play them nice and slowly. I'm sure you'll recognise these. That's the first 2 bars. The next 2 bars just starts to get a little bit busier. Same notes. He's not putting loads and loads of runs or anything in, but he plays the first 2 beats the same. You play the C on beat 1, rest, and then the A on the and to travel to the B flat. So you got 1, 2, and. But this time on the B flat, he plays 3 notes to go to the F. He still approaches the F just before. He plays it on the and of beat 4. So that bar is. Whereas what we've done every other time is. So instead of leaving the rest on beat 4, he's playing. That's the only difference there. And the next bar he plays, so you've probably spotted there that what he does differently is plays 2 8th notes on beat 3. So what I'm going to do now is I'm going to play those 2 bars together, nice and slow, so you can see and the difference. And if you're looking at your tab, it's the second line down against the first 2 and pre-chorus. And it's the bars 3 and 4 on that line. That's the only difference. Then in the next bar, when we go back to the C, we play exactly the same as we've just played. So we're playing the more 8th notes. And then this is a nice variation. He plays the same, lets beat 1 go as he always does, and plays the F, but instead of coming lower, he plays up the G string here. So you play an open G, and then a G sharp and an A. So I'll play that for you. And I'll play it with the bar before. The next bar, he plays exactly the same again with the slightly busier. And he goes back to what we played first time. So you've just got a bunch of 2 bars there that are slightly different each time. I'm going to play those 8 bars through now together, nice and slow, and you'll be able to spot where the little variations are. 48 bars. The last 4 bars are exactly the same as the last 4 bars of the first verse, but I shall play them now here so you can see them. The G for 2 bars, B flat for a bar, and then the rhythmic difference where we play the F, the C, and 2 E flats. The first one's staccato, but I'll play it through nice and slow now so you can see it all. And that would take us to another chorus, which I believe is exactly the same as the first one. So the next thing we're going to show is the first 12 bars that are played over the guitar solo. But that's all you need to play the second verse and the second pre-chorus of Can't Get Enough of Your Love. This is the guitar solo section of Can't Get Enough of Your Love by Bad Company. The tutorial's been shown in 2 parts, and this is the final part of the first part, if that makes any sense. And this is about just past the 2-minute mark in the tune. So just going to play through what he does at this point. There'll be a full play along at the end of the next one, so it'll all come together. So if you're thinking parts, different parts here and there, it'll all make sense at the end of next week's. So it's the same chords over the guitar solo again. It's just got more of an 8th note feel throughout because it's nice and driving with the solo going on. So we're playing a C here, and we'll play the C for the first 2 beats. B flat for the first beat and a half, and then an F. So that's your first bar. And then you think of every other time when we've walked back, we sort of hit that F at fret 3 on our D string on the and then played either quarter notes or a mixture of quarter notes and 8th notes. Here it's driven all the way back with constant 8th notes, and this is worth getting because this 2-bar phrase happens 3 times. So I'll play the second bar for you. Remember, this is on the and of beat 1, 1 and 2 and 3 and 4, and so you're just chromatically walking back but with constant 8. So the 2 bars together now, from C to the F, and the B flat of course here in the second half of the first bar. And that happens 3 times, so I'm going to play that 3 times now. It's all more of a nice 8th note feel because it's got a bit busier, the guitars soloing away. So this is it, just through 3 times. That's your first 6 bars. Then you've got C plays exactly the same. And then just as a nice little variation here because it's going to run to the G for 2 bars. So when we play the F, we always play this F on the and of beat 1 in each second 2-bar grouping. But instead of coming down these notes because he's going back to C, he plays the F and then an open E, fret 1, and then fret 2. So fret 1's an F, fret 2's an F sharp because we're going to lead to G. So I'll play the 2 bars, leading in off the C that we know, and then off the F, going to the G this time. And I'll just play the G once on the end. Because there's the G. And now, over the G, instead of playing straight 8ths just on the roots here, sorry, they're not straight, but instead of playing just root notes, I meant to say, on the G, it outlines the G7 chord here, just going up the arpeggio. So you play 2 Gs, 2 Bs at fret 2 on your A string, 2 Ds at fret 5 on your A string, and then so it's 2 Gs at fret 3 on your E string, 2 Bs at fret 2 A string, 2 Ds at fret 5 on your A string, and then an F is just a quarter note there. That's your first bar. That's at fret 3 on your D string. Play it together. And then he comes back with constant eighths. This is quite a nice little run back to the B flat. He plays a G, an F, 2 Gs, and 2 Fs. That's fret 5 and 3 on your D string. G, F, and then 2 Ds and 2 Cs on 5 and 3 on your A string. And that is just this in 1 and 2 and 3 and 4, and I'll put those bars together because that's then going to go to the B flat, which is still just constant eighths. I'll play the B flat as well because it's fret 1 here. You've played this before, it's exactly the same, and so is the last bar. So the last 2 bars are the same. I'm just going to go through the whole lot. So those last 4 bars, you can see there the G's busier than it was in the other bars. So I'll just do it one more time. B flat the same, and last bar the same. So I'm now going to play all those 12 bars of the that I played over the guitar solo all the way through, nice and steady, and you'll be able to see, remember the first 3 times it's the same pattern, and there's just the variation leading to the G. So this is the 12 bars of the guitar solo that are notated. And that's all you need to be able to play through that part of the guitar solo, and we'll be back with the other bits of the tune in next week's First Bass and Beyond.